Welcome to round 2 of Pantomathix, the inter-school quiz contest presented to you by Saint Kabir Public School and Nexus Consulting. After that exciting round 1, round 2 is an interesting new format called Chaturang. You have to pick a question from the grid. The unanswered questions here will not pass. If you are sure of the answer after seeing the question, you can go for a power play for plus 15. But if you say power play and get your answer wrong, you will get a minus 5, right. So, if you do not say anything, we will assume that you are playing regular plus 10 0. If you do want to say power play, you will have to, if you want to play a power play, you will have to say power play very clearly, okay. And this is not a random grid. Let us see how this grid is. This grid spells out Pantomathix, okay. And you can pick a letter and your answer will begin with that letter, okay. So, you have P-A-N-T-O-M-A-T-H-I-C-S, so you have enough options to pick from, okay. So, this is your pick your gambit round. As I told you, you pick an option, you pick a letter from the word Pantomathix. So, if you are picking an A or a T, please mention whether it is A1, A2 or T1, T2. You have 12 options to pick from and there are 8 of you, so enough options. Once you pick it, see the question. If you think you are very sure, say power play and then give your answer. Otherwise, just give your answer directly. Let us start with Arav.
I'll go with T1.
You will go with T1. Okay, T1 for Arav. There is uncertainty over exactly how this historical figure was injured. It probably happened in AD 1363 in a desert battle in southwest Afghanistan. A Soviet archaeological team opened his tomb in 1941 to verify if the reports of the injury were true. They found that it was correct. He was a well-built man of about 5 feet 7 inch, but his right leg was shorter than the left leg, and that's how he got his nickname. Which historical figure are we talking about? And please give your answer along with the nickname. And if you are sure of it, please mention power play.
How much time do I have?
You have the next 10 seconds to give me an answer.
Babur.
Not Babur, I am sorry about that, it is not Babur. We will invite one of the other contestants to unmute themselves and give an answer.
Can I?
Yes,
Can
Suvan.
Can I?
Taimur the Lame.
Taimur
the Lame.
Yes.
Taimur Lung.
Yeah, Taimur the Lame is correct. Tamerlane or Taimur the Lame, and they did find out that he was indeed lame, which is why he had an injury to one of his legs, which is why he was called Taimur the Lame. Okay, tough luck, Arav didn't get that. Devanshu's turn to pick now.
I'll take S.
You will take S, alright, the last one of the lot, S. The man in the picture is Felix Dadayev. His training began around 1940 when he was in his 20s. He watched countless newsreels of somebody. The chief of the secret police in his country personally trained him. He was also taught how to apply a makeup. His final test was at the Kremlin. If he could convince those people, then he could officially assume a particular role. So, see the picture as well and tell me what was Dadayev being trained for. Okay, this is the picture of Felix Dadayev. Go back to the text, please. Yeah. So, what was he being trained for? He watched lots of newsreels of somebody. The chief of the secret police of this country personally trained him, and he was also taught how to apply a makeup. Remember your answer somewhere, the key word in your answer needs to begin with the letter S.
Wait a second, let me think.
Look at the name.
Spying.
Sorry?
So he was taught to be a spy in, like, be an undercover person or spy in different ways by applying makeup.
He was taught to be, he was being taught to be a spy. Okay, no, not quite, not what we were looking for. Does anybody else want to try? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harish,
Yes.
let Harish try.
Actually, he was being trained to be a body double of Stalin.
That is the right answer. He was being trained to be the body double for Stalin, right? So, he had watched all of these newsreels of Stalin, and if he could convince the officials in the Kremlin that he was indeed Stalin, then he could get the job, which he did get. So, he was the body double of Stalin, okay. That goes unanswered as well. And we now go to Harish himself to pick the next one.
I'll pick H.
We'll pick H, okay. He perfected the process of drying milk and his product became a big hit thanks to its convenience. When ice cream parlors became popular, it helped his business grow because his product was sold in them. Travelers carried it everywhere. He was one of the principal backers of Roald Amundsen's expedition to find the South Pole. Thanks to his contributions, surveyors even named a mountain in Antarctica after him. Who is this famous person? His surname is the name of a very famous brand of packaged foods associated with milk, okay, as in it is a packaged food, so it is a kind of powder, I will tell you that typically, but it can be available in various forms and it is a brand we are well familiar with in India as well.
Is it Milo?
You picked H, so your answer needs to start with H. It is not Milo, I am sorry. Anybody else wants to try? Nobody?
Hershey's?
No, not Hershey's. No, travelers used to carry it everywhere because it was very easy and convenient to consume. Let's see the answer. The answer is Horlicks. The answer is Horlicks. This is William Horlick, and a very important mountain range in Antarctica is called the Horlick Mountain after William Horlick of the brand Horlicks. Okay. Alright, this round seems to be a bit of a toughie. Nobody has scored so far. Let's see how Harnoor goes. Harnoor, what do you want to pick?
So P.
P. Okay, Harnoor has picked P. These books revolutionized the publishing industry. The name of the imprint was evocative of the utility value of the books. They could easily be carried around, and that is your important clue. These books got their name because they could be easily carried around. They were priced at 25 cents. The logo was an animal, Gertrude the kangaroo, named after the artist's mother-in-law. What is this brand of books that was established in 1939? So your answer needs to be dash books, and the dash is the answer that begins with the letter P, and your key clue is that it could be easily carried around. So it was easy to carry around, and it was so small and easy to carry around that it could fit very easily in your dress. So using that as a clue, tell me what is this brand of books called?
Are they pocket books?
Pocket books is a good answer. Finally somebody scores. Good answer there. Pocket books. The books were small enough to fit into coat pockets and therefore became very, very popular with commuters, people who would travel and so on, because they could easily put these books in one of their coat or jacket pockets and read on their journey. Very good, Harnoor, you get 10 points on that. Good one there. Now, since we have finished 4 questions, we will do the next 4 anti-clockwise, just like we did in the semi-finals. So, Suvansh, it's now your turn to pick.
I'll go with M.
You'll go with the M, alright. Some people claim that this preparation was invented in the 1700s when a storm damaged a ship carrying a cargo of oranges. An enterprising man took the whole shipload, turned the contents into a delicious eatable and made a fortune. Another story says Mary Queen of Scots ate some when she had a headache. Her maids would wander around whispering, "Marie is ill" in French, and that is how the preparation is said to have got its name. What is this typically delicious preparation?
I'm gonna go with it's marmalade.
You didn't say parplay, so you get only 10 points. Marmalade is absolutely correct. Well done. Marmalade, and you know, if you break down the word marmalade, and it would kind of mean that someone is ill, malady, that type of thing. So Mary is ill, marmalade, and that's how one disputed origin of it is, and the other more interesting about the ship sinking and somebody taking the entire load and making orange marmalade out of it. Well done, good answer, 10 points, Suvansh. So Suvansh has moved into a lead, and now it's chance for Sejal to catch up. So Sejal, what letter would you like to pick?
N.
N, alright, N for Sejal. It may seem that this business is a new one, but it's just that it's become more popular in recent years. It was founded in 1997 by two colleagues from a software company. Their main competitor at that time was a company called Blockbuster. The future did not turn out well for Blockbuster. It could not compete with this new brand and it became bankrupt in 2010. Which company outshone Blockbuster? Your answer begins with the letter N and it's a very popular and common company today. And I am sure
Yes, sir. Power Play.
Okay, Power Play.
Netflix.
Netflix, absolutely correct. Well done, well played on the Power Play. Netflix, which is a streaming service today, originally began as a DVD rental service, a chain of DVD rental shops. The biggest brand in that space used to be Blockbuster in the US, and after Netflix coming in, it kind of shut down, and then of course Netflix has pioneered the streaming service across the world today with some great shows, films and so on. Excellent, 15 points to Sejal. I think that ties up the scores right now. Wonderful. Alright, let's go to Ratandeep.
I'll take C.
You will take C, alright. Diamonds are given various names after the colors they exhibit. Water is used for the most colorless variety. Some diamonds were also named after locations. Pale yellow colored varieties from South Africa were known as dash diamonds. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to discover this area and the sea route to India by going around it. So what was the short name given to this variety of diamond after this particular location or feature in South Africa? And the Portuguese were the first to discover this, and a good clue for you is that they discovered this while discovering the sea route to India by going around this. So give me an answer that begins with C. Think about a famous geographical feature that is there in South Africa. Which would typically be along a sea route.
Sir, Cairo.
Cairo, not Cairo, unfortunately not Cairo. Alright, we're going to see who wants to attempt it. Sejal, do you want to try? Yes, Sejal.
Cape of Good Hope.
Yes, these were called Cape Diamonds after the Cape of Good Hope, right, the southernmost point of Africa, and that was an important kind of I would say inflection point in the sea route to India, the Cape of Good Hope. So these are called Cape Diamonds. Alright, okay, last question of this round goes to Harshit. Harshit, would you like A1, O, A2, T2?
Sir, I'll go with O.
You will go with O. Alright. C. The Oxford English Dictionary says that the word oology first appeared in print in English in 1830. It was in an advertisement for the soon to be published book British Oology. The book makes some interesting observations about the objects that are studied in oology. One observation is that birds such as owls and kingfishers hide these objects in holes. So first you have to figure out what is it that an oologist studies, and if you figure that out, tell me what is the largest object that is studied by an oologist. And your answer, remember, needs to begin with the letter O. So what is oology, the study of? And if you figure that out, what is the largest object noted or studied by oologists?
Ostrich eggs.
Ostrich eggs is a good answer. Excellent. Oologists study eggs, and the biggest egg in the world is the ostrich egg.
Yes.
Right? Ostrich eggs, well worked out. Great answer, Harshit. 10 points to you. And that brings us to the end of our Chaturang round. We will take a quick look at the score. Alright, so we have Arav on 5 still. We have Devanshu, Ratandeep and Harshit and Harnoor all on 10. We have Harish still in third place on 20. But in a tie for first place at the moment are Sejal Trehan and Suvansh Mahajan, both at 50 points. Right, 12 questions to go anti-clockwise. We're going to go a little fast.